There's a road that very few people ever dare to walk. It is not crowded. There are no cheers, no applause, no one standing on the side telling you that you're doing great. In fact, most of the time there is nothing, just silence. This is the loneliest path to greatness. And the truth is, most people never make it here. Not because they don't have dreams, not because they lack talent, but because they cannot handle the loneliness that comes with becoming extraordinary. Everyone loves the idea of success. Everyone loves the image of greatness, the trophies, the recognition, the respect. But very few people are willing to face the dark, empty road that leads to it. Because when you decide to chase greatness, something strange happens. People start disappearing. The same friends who used to call you every day suddenly stop reaching out. The same people who laugh with you begin to question you. Why are you working so hard? Why can't you just relax? Why are you changing? But what they don't understand is that greatness requires transformation, and transformation is uncomfortable. When you decide to become better than who you were yesterday, you automatically outgrow the environment that kept you comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of greatness. The moment you stop choosing comfort, you step into a world that very few people recognize. You wake up earlier than everyone else. While the world is asleep, you're already fighting your first battle of the day. The alarm clock goes off. Your body says stay in bed. Your mind says quit. But something deeper inside you whispers a different message. Get up, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. And that's the first thing you learn on the loneliest path to greatness. No one is coming to push you. No one is going to drag you out of bed. No one is going to remind you of your potential every morning. You must become your own coach, your own motivation, your own discipline. This is where most people fail. They rely on external motivation. They wait for someone to inspire them. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait until they feel ready. But the truth is, greatness doesn't wait for feelings. Greatness demands action, even on the days when you feel tired, even on the days when doubt creeps into your mind, even on the days when quitting feels easier than continuing. Because the path to greatness is not built on motivation. It's built on discipline. And discipline is lonely. While others are partying, you're working. While others are sleeping, you're studying. While others are complaining about life, you're building a life they will someday wish they had. But here's the part nobody talks about. Loneliness doesn't just come from being physically alone. It comes from thinking differently. When your mindset changes, conversations start to feel different. You start noticing things that others ignore. While people around you talk about gossip, distractions, and temporary pleasures, your mind is focused on growth. You begin asking different questions. How can I improve today? How can I become stronger? How can I push beyond my limits? And slowly, the gap between you and everyone else grows wider. Not because you're better than them, but because your priorities are different. This is where many people turn back. Because the loneliness becomes heavy. They miss the comfort of fitting in. They miss the simplicity of living without pressure. But those who continue walking discover something powerful. Loneliness is not punishment. It is preparation. The silence you experience on this path is where your character is forged. When there is no crowd cheering you on, you learn to rely on something deeper than validation. You rely on purpose. Purpose is what keeps you moving when nobody is watching. Purpose is what fuels your effort when progress feels invisible. Purpose is what reminds you why you started in the first place. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has walked through this phase. Athletes, entrepreneurs, leaders, dreamers. Before the world recognized them, they spent years in isolation. Years of work that nobody applauded. Years of sacrifice that nobody understood. While the world slept, they were building something extraordinary. And in those quiet moments, they discovered who they truly were. Because greatness doesn't reveal itself in comfort. It reveals itself in struggle. When you're exhausted, but you keep going. When you're doubting yourself, but you keep trying. When the world ignores you, but you refuse to quit. That's when something inside you begins to change. Your mind becomes stronger. Your standards become higher. Your excuses disappear. You stop asking life to be easier. And instead, you become harder. The loneliest path to greatness forces you to confront yourself, your fears, your weaknesses, your limitations. There's nowhere to hide, no distractions, no shortcuts, just you and the truth. But here's the beautiful part. The same loneliness that once felt painful eventually becomes your greatest advantage. Because while everyone else is distracted, you are focused. While everyone else is comfortable, you are growing. While everyone else is waiting, you are becoming. And slowly, something incredible begins to happen. The discipline that once felt difficult becomes your identity. The struggles that once felt overwhelming become your strength. The loneliness that once felt heavy becomes your power. Because by the time the world finally notices you, you are no longer the same person who started this journey. You are stronger, more focused, more resilient, and most importantly, unbreakable. But remember this, the road ahead is still long. There will be moments when doubt tries to pull you back, moments when the silence feels overwhelming, moments when quitting seems tempting. And that is exactly where the next level of greatness begins. Because the real question is not whether the path is lonely. The real question is, are you strong enough to walk it anyway? The loneliest path doesn't end after the first battles. In fact, that's just the beginning. Once you've learned to wake up early, to push your body and mind when they scream at you to quit, you start noticing another enemy. It's quieter than fatigue, stronger than pain, and far more dangerous than any obstacle you've faced before. It's doubt, not the doubt that others put in your head. That's easy to fight. No, this is the doubt that comes from within. The voice that whispers when no one is around. The voice that questions whether your effort is worth it. The voice that reminds you of every failure, every mistake, every time you gave up in the past. This is where the path truly tests you, because you are no longer competing with the world. You are competing with yourself. Every great achievement begins as a fight against a version of you that wants to settle. The version of you that thinks good enough is enough. The version of you that fears discomfort more than it desires growth. And here's the truth. Most people lose this fight. Most people give up when the world isn't watching. Most people quit in silence, without anyone knowing. But the ones who succeed, they don't win because life gives them a break. They win because they refuse to listen to that voice of doubt. They win because they learn to embrace discomfort as a teacher. They win because they understand a secret that most will never learn. Pain is temporary. Regret is forever. Every lonely hour you spend pushing yourself beyond limits is an investment. Every day you endure when everyone else relaxes is a deposit into a future only you will fully understand. But the road doesn't get easier. It gets sharper. It gets colder. It gets darker. You will feel invisible. You will feel misunderstood. You will feel exhausted. And there will be moments when you question everything. Why am I doing this? Is it worth it? Will I ever see the results? These are the moments that break ordinary people. But the loneliest path demands something more. It demands persistence. It demands a refusal to quit. It demands that you fight even when the fight feels pointless. Because greatness is not measured in applause. It's measured in moments like these, when the world is silent and you are still moving forward. You'll find yourself walking through nights so dark that fear becomes your only companion. No one will text to check on you. No one will cheer from the sidelines. No one will offer encouragement. And that is the true test. It is here in the silence that your character is forged. It is here that you realize your strength isn't defined by comfort. It's defined by endurance, by resilience, by the courage to face your own limitations again and again until they no longer control you. This journey is not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the ones who need constant validation. It's for those who are willing to be uncomfortable, for those who are willing to sacrifice social acceptance for personal excellence, for those who are willing to endure loneliness so deep it feels suffocating, because on the other side of that loneliness is power, the power to push further than anyone believes you can, the power to rise when others fall, the power to accomplish what most people only dream of. But you have to understand something crucial. No one else is responsible for your growth. No one else is going to hand you your dreams. No one else is going to drag you through the pain. You are your own engine. You are your own shield. You are your own army. And the more you embrace this, the stronger you become. Every day will present a choice. Stay in your comfort zone, where life is predictable, easy, and safe, or step into the unknown, where growth waits, but pain lurks around every corner. And let me tell you, every single person who has ever achieved greatness chose the unknown. They chose to walk the path that others avoided. They chose the nights of doubt and fear. They chose the loneliness, because they understood something most people never do. Comfort kills dreams. Excuses destroy potential. And waiting for the perfect moment is the fastest way to guarantee failure. If you want to be great, you will have to embrace discomfort. You will have to become friends with struggle. You will have to treat the lonely road as your proving ground. And the beautiful irony, the more isolated you feel, the more your mind sharpens, the more your body aches, the more your spirit grows, the more the world doubts you, the more you discover your own power. It is on this path that ordinary men become legends, ordinary women become icons, ordinary people become unshakable. You will learn to value solitude. You will learn to rely on yourself. You will learn to push past the point where most people give up. And when you finally look back, you will realize that all the loneliness, all the struggle, all the moments of doubt were not punishments. They were the tools that built your greatness. So do not fear being alone. Do not fear walking a road that few will understand. Do not fear the silence. Because every step you take in isolation, every hour you spend fighting against your limits, is preparing you for a life that most will never experience. A life of strength, a life of purpose, a life of greatness. And as the path continues to test you, remember this. You are not weak for feeling lonely. You are not failing for facing doubt. You are not lost for walking alone. You are growing. You are evolving. You are becoming the person you were always meant to be. And one day, the world will notice, not because it understands you, not because it wanted to, but because your results will be undeniable. The loneliest path is the hardest path, but it is the only path that leads to true greatness. By now, you've walked far. The path has grown darker, the obstacles sharper, and the loneliness deeper. You've learned to rise when the world sleeps. You've faced your doubts in silence. You've endured pain that others would have run from. But here's the truth few ever tell you. The hardest battles come not from the world, but from within. Your mind begins to play tricks. It whispers lies about who you are. It reminds you of every failure, every weakness, every limit. You're not strong enough. You're not ready. You can't do this alone. And for a moment, it feels true. You start to wonder if the struggle is worth it. You start to question if the sacrifices matter. You start to feel the weight of isolation pressing down on your chest. This is where many quit. This is where dreams die quietly. This is where the path claims those who are too afraid to keep walking. But you're still here. And being here is proof of something incredible. Because the moment you recognize your fear, the moment you confront your doubt, is the moment you discover a new level of strength. The loneliest path teaches a brutal lesson. There's no one coming to save you. No mentor. No friend. No guide. If you want to rise, you must rise alone. And rising alone changes you. It strips away excuses. It removes the crutches you once relied on. It forces you to look in the mirror and confront the truth about yourself. You begin to see the power you've ignored, the resilience you underestimated, the determination buried beneath years of comfort. And slowly, you start to realize something. The loneliness that once felt like a curse is now your weapon. It has sharpened your focus. It has strengthened your resolve. It has revealed the depths of your potential. You no longer fear silence. You no longer need validation. You no longer depend on the applause of the crowd. Because you have learned the most important secret of greatness. The person you become when no one is watching is the person who changes the world. Every extraordinary achievement begins in solitude. Every remarkable victory is forged in quiet moments of struggle. Every unstoppable force starts as a single, lonely step forward when everything inside you wants to stop. And that is the paradox of the path you've chosen. The very thing that feels like punishment is the source of your power. Pain becomes a teacher. Struggle becomes a companion. Loneliness becomes an advantage, because while others are distracted, you are focused. While others seek comfort, you embrace challenge. While others wait for permission, you take action. This is a point where ordinary people plateau and extraordinary people break through. You will start noticing changes in yourself that are undeniable. Your discipline becomes unstoppable. Your confidence becomes unshakable. Your vision becomes so clear that nothing can blur it. And yet, the world still won't understand. People will question why you sacrifice. People will criticize your choices. People will tell you that you're extreme or obsessed or foolish. Ignore them. Greatness is never popular in the beginning. It is always lonely, misunderstood, and unrelenting. Because if the path were easy, everyone would be walking it. But it is not easy. It is never easy. And that is why only a few ever reach the top. The struggle is not a sign that you're failing. It is proof that you're moving forward, that you're breaking limits, that you're transforming into someone who cannot be stopped. At this stage, your mind changes completely. You start to understand that discomfort is a gift, that pain is a teacher, that loneliness is the forge where legends are made. Every setback, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt becomes fuel. Fuel for your ambition, fuel for your growth, fuel for your eventual victory. And then something incredible happens. You stop worrying about recognition. You stop caring if anyone notices your effort. You stop seeking approval from a world that doesn't understand. Because by now, you know your worth. You know your strength. You know your purpose. And nothing outside of you can shake it. The loneliest path is no longer intimidating. It no longer feels heavy. It no longer feels impossible. It feels inevitable. Because the person walking it is unstoppable. And as you continue forward, step by step, day by day, you realize the ultimate truth. Greatness is not a destination. It is a process, a journey, a transformation. And the loneliness you feared was never a punishment. It was a gift. The loneliest road does not break you. It builds you. It teaches you to fight when no one else will. It teaches you to endure when the world is silent. It teaches you to rise when nothing in life guarantees success. And that is the power of walking alone, the power of embracing struggle, the power of becoming unbreakable. Because the person who survives this path is not just strong, not just disciplined, not just successful. They are unstoppable. Now, you've reached the edge of the journey. The path has been long. The nights have been dark. The doubt has been relentless. The loneliness unbearable at times. And yet, here you are, not because someone pushed you, not because someone cheered for you, not because the world handed you a single thing you didn't earn. You are here because you refused to quit. You are here because you embraced the struggle. You are here because you walked the loneliest road and you kept going. This is the moment where everything changes. The moments of doubt, the hours of sacrifice, the days of pain, they all converge into one undeniable truth. You are stronger than you ever imagined. The world may never have understood you. The people who walked with you before may no longer be here. The applause you long for may never come. But that no longer matters. Because greatness is not measured by attention. It is measured by endurance, by courage, by the willingness to rise again and again when life tells you to stop. You have become a force that cannot be ignored. Not because others recognize it, but because you recognize it in yourself. Every scar, every sleepless night, every step taken alone has prepared you for this. The loneliest path has forged you into something extraordinary, something unshakable, something unstoppable. Now, you walk with a clarity that few ever experience. Your purpose is undeniable. Your vision is unbreakable. Your discipline is unmatched. And here's the truth the world will never teach you. The struggle never truly ends. Life will always test you. The road will always demand more. But you are ready. Because the loneliest path has given you what comfort never could. Strength forged in solitude, resilience honed by adversity, and a heart that refuses to surrender. This is your power. The power to push past fear. The power to defy limits. The power to rise when everyone else falls. You have become someone the world will notice, not because it wants to, but because it has no choice. And now, as you stand on the edge of everything you fought for, remember this. Greatness is not about being understood. Greatness is not about being liked. Greatness is about becoming the version of yourself that others only dream of. You have walked the path fewer will ever dare to take. You have embraced the loneliness that breaks ordinary people. You have faced yourself, stripped bare of excuses, fear, and weakness. And in doing so, you have become unstoppable. So keep walking, keep pushing, keep fighting, because the loneliest road is the road that leads to greatness. And those who have the courage to walk it will never be ordinary again. You are not ordinary. You are not average. You are destined. You are unbreakable. You are unstoppable. You are greatness itself. And nothing, no obstacle, no doubt, no person can ever take that away from you. This is the loneliest path to greatness. And you are its ultimate testament.